Hey everyone, this is Liberty Santiago, and you are tuning in for another episode of Coach's Corner. I'm super excited to have our guest, Amber Frelin, on today. As you guys know, I am a business consultant and mindset trainer, and this podcast is really for you guys who are watching to learn more about what you can do from an expert point of view to plug into be able to have more business growth, better client attraction, and we do some woo-woo things here too. So today I'm super excited because Amber is going to be talking to us about quantum healing. So without further ado, Amber, will you please introduce yourself?
Absolutely. I'm happy to go as woo as you like today. Thank you in advance for having me here. I'm incredibly excited. I am an intuitive business coach and quantum healer. What does that mean for anyone who's first time hearing those kind of terms? I guess, there's a little story behind it. If I could share a little story. My husband and I, years ago, were gaining some traction in our online business. Our clients were actually getting some really great results. And it's funny to admit this, but we weren't actually gaining the traction we wanted. So we thought, okay, this is interesting. We're helping others gain traction. We're utilizing some really cool tools that I'd love to share with you here today in regards to the subconscious mind, how it works, how it can support our success, or it can sabotage our success. We were utilizing it with our clients, we were utilizing it with friends and family, but we weren't actually taking the time to do it for ourselves. And so we weren't seeing the results that we actually wanted to see. And we did a world tour back in 2018 and 19. And, we fly off the cuff, right? We don't script things out. We're firm believers in showing up, being real, and just like going with the flow, because the reason we're entrepreneurs is we want to enjoy our lives. And so a big part of that for us is just like being. And so my husband Christian gets on stage at one of our tours, and he decides to like throw his whole plan out the window and utilize this incredible technology that we use to help rewire the subconscious. He decides to do it on stage in front of about 150 people, just off the cuff. And that moment changed our lives, because I was in the audience, he was on stage. We did the same things we had been doing privately with people, but we were only doing it with one person at a time before. So all of a sudden he presents it to a crowd, and the result and the reaction was incredible, and the energy was tangible, and that subconscious shift took place in a large group of people all at one time, and a large gasp, which is the coolest thing, in like a huge room of cool people, when they all, oh, and you're like, oh crap, we got the thing is cool. Everyone loves the thing, right? And so at that moment we realized, oh, we had what was working all the time. We haven't been utilizing it on ourselves. And so from that day forward, we set aside the time to utilize it with ourselves, to make sure that our subconscious is on board with the wealth that we're creating, with the impact we're creating, with the abundance that we're stepping into. And everything changed that day. So that's what it means to kind of like introduce myself. That's what it means to be a quantum healer. And that's the way in which we apply it to business and help coaches grow. And that's also what it means for me to be an intuitive business coach, because we utilize the intuition, our own intuition, to find what might be in the subconscious for someone, preventing them from moving forward, and then able to release that so that they can now finally move forward.
That's beautiful. It gave me chills too. So
it's so fun.
I love that, because I do. I think, we're spiritual beings, we're intellectual beings, and, we're living in this physical body, and it's not enough to just have a list of things that we can do to become successful entrepreneurs, that we need to really tap into all these elements. We're complex creatures. We're God's highest form of creation. And when we have business coaches like yourself who are very in tune with that and being able to read energy, like that is what people pay for, right? Because that's such a skill set in and of itself. Anybody can give you a list of things to do. Anybody can give you books to read, but it's what is specifically blocking you in that subconscious mind needs to be drawn out by someone who's intuitive, quantum healer like you. That's so
Yeah.
cool.
Thank
I
you.
love that. So tell me a little bit about how you got started. It sounds like you and your husband have been entrepreneurs for quite some time, but how
Yeah.
did you get started in doing all of this with other coaches and consultants?
Yeah. Thank you so much for asking. It's kind of crazy, actually. It started in network marketing. And that's the coolest thing, right? I mean, that tends to be like a launch pad for so many people. He and I both were, miserable as employees. Like, I can't tell you, like, I am not built for that. You can't give me the greatest job in the world and I will feel like I'm in a cage. And so we stumbled upon network marketing separately. We fell into the same incredible company. We met at one of those home parties. And it was one of those crazy things where I had really been honing my intuition because I had a pretty beautiful, though painful recovery journey a few years prior to that. And so my intuition was like in high gear after I healed that part of my life intuitively and on my own. So I was like riding high with intuition, like literally just following each and every call, each and every move, moving across the country, like just doing all the things on full faith. Entered that network marketing company in the same kind of way, went to this party. He walked in. It's the craziest story. I was not looking for love at all. This man walks in and I clairaudiently hear, "That's your husband." And I'm like, it was one of those, I wanted to be like, what? It's like crazy moment. I'm like, oh my God, that is my husband. And so we became best friends over about 6 months time, just friends, like just growing business together, doing all sorts of really cool, like quantum stuff, learning personal development. We became really quickly to be like personal development speakers in our network marketing community. And we were like, we want to expand this. Like there's more here, right? So that's when we were like starting to become coaches and starting to present the opportunity to other network marketers that they could be coaches too. And so it kind of just created itself along with that story I told you at the beginning, how the quantum part really started fitting in, but it just grows and grows. And I think that's one of the coolest things about online business is the niche presents itself, right? People start coming to you for something specific, and then more of the same people start coming to you. So for a long time, all network marketers came to me to grow their network marketing business. And then network marketers came to me to become coaches. And now coaches come to me to shift their subconscious because they're feeling that little glass ceiling and they know it's energetic. So that's how it all began.
That's a beautiful story. Oh my goodness. Like, wow. I love that you found love. And for anybody who's watching who is like, going through that healing time and then gets to this point where, you're not looking for love, love will find you
Oh yeah.
because of that healing. And I think we can relate to this because I went through something very similar.
You did.
Self-healing, and then my partner who my fiance, we met each other after both of us did some healing. And I'm like, oh, I love hearing these stories because people are like, oh, I want to get in a relationship. You can't do that. Like, you have to just let it happen and be guided. But one more thing that you said that I thought was really cool is the niche presents itself.
Ooh, yeah.
That is so good because I hear this from a lot of people is they don't understand how to communicate their niche. They don't understand how to call out their avatar client. But it could just very well be that the niche hasn't presented itself yet and your business hasn't exploded because you keep going energetically in a direction that you're not fit for. And then when you actually start to become open to what is it that people love to go to you for, then that's when success really opens up. Wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely. Yes. I
Yeah.
never thought of it this way. I don't even know if those words have come out of my mouth until this moment, but I see it every day.
Yeah, that's quotable. The niche presents itself.
Yes. I love it. Thank you for pointing it out.
Yeah.
It's
No,
pretty
that's
cool.
good. I told you I love this podcast because so many amazing things happen out of it. So audience, if you're watching and you have questions for Amber or questions for myself, make sure that you're dropping those questions in the comments, and me and Amber are going to go back and we're going to shower you guys with love after this. We're going to
Absolutely.
make sure you get connected with everything that you need to become successful, to really grow your business. So Amber, let's talk about your luxury lifestyle, because I'm very
Ooh.
attracted to you with that element of things, because I'm very luxe. My company is called Diamond Consulting because I love diamonds.
Yes.
You know, I just keep wanting to go after that rich lifestyle. And it's not because I feel spoiled, but it's because I feel called to it. So talk
Yeah.
to me about how you fit that in with your business, and, how you've manifested some things with that.
Yeah. What an awesome question. Thank you. I was thinking about popping on with you earlier, and I wanted to remember to tell you I love your branding. Oh my gosh. Like when I first found you with the jet and the BMW, I'm like, this girl's got it. Like I'm so attracted to that. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, it really has to do with peace of mind, right? Because I struggled for so long.
Mhm.
I really did, and it's like, so I look at it now, I manifested. So another really short story. My husband and I relocated to Naples, Florida, like 5 months ago. And it was one of those things where it's like, I was born to live at the beach, right? But I never actually, I almost moved to California. And that was at the moment when I realized I had some really big changes that I needed to make, and I had some really big healing to do. And so I had to put that dream on the back burner, and I had to go clean up my life, make some things more positive. That's what the story I told you earlier. But I was always like trying to get to the beach, right? And so about 3-4 months prior to the opportunity literally just presenting itself, like I cannot tell you how much the universe will support you when you surrender and have an absolute clear vision and commitment to what you're calling in. It really is like, it's why the subconscious is so important, because it doesn't allow us to surrender, right? Because it's playing the same story, it's playing the same program, so that history will repeat itself, so that you stay safe and essentially alive. That's why it's feels like you're running upstream. If you're not working with it, it feels like you're working against it. But when you are working with it and the beliefs are in alignment and you've done the foundational work to call in the wealth, income, impact, all the things, amazing, beautiful things about life, and you surrender no matter what, knowing that you'll get through anything, you'll always make the next best move, you always have the answer, the universe will always provide, and you really fall into that surrender with a clear vision. I went to sleep every night in Las Vegas, where we lived before, in an apartment that was half packed, and like we were really like just wanting to shift everything. And I went to sleep every night in this home here, feel like in my mind here, waking up, putting my feet on the floor here, driving to the beach here, going to Pilates here, like feeling the humidity, smelling the salt water, like just becoming the future version of myself. And I cannot stress enough to everyone who hears this how powerful that is. It really comes with full belief, commitment, and surrender. And so that luxury lifestyle for me, Liberty, is really the peace of mind that comes with knowing that you can create anything no matter what. You have the means to enjoy anything that you want in this life. Like you said, not because so much of the tangible things, but because of the embodiment of that way of being and the peace of mind and the joy and like the happiness that you can have in this life. Because aren't we all here to be happy, right? We forget that. It's like this hustle mode really can get crazy. We want to be happy. So for me, man, I love to sit down at a beautiful restaurant in a beautiful location, eating the greatest food. And the reason is like this internal peace of mind that comes from that. And that knowingness that that can be recreated over and over and over, that we create everything.
You're speaking my language, because that is everything that I think about.
Mm-hmm.
I love
Mm-hmm.
it. It's so good. It's really, really important. But you said a word that I think is really important that we should talk about is hustle.
Okay. Hustle. Oh yeah.
Hustle. So
Oh my gosh.
we have the peace of mind, and I feel like the word hustle is like it doesn't belong in my language for sure, because it feels bad. I've hustled in corporate America. I've done the 9 to 5. I've hustled in network marketing. I've hustled in coaching. None of that feels good. What feels good is the peace of mind and the luxury and surrendering, knowing that all that goodness is flowing. So I love that you said that. Like the hustle, it's like it cannot exist. That's
it's like it's so
surrender.
1990, right?
I know.
Hustle game is gone. It's like not a thing. The faster we get out of that mindset, that mode, the sooner all of the beautiful things start pouring into our lives.
Yeah, well, I see you being really successful, but I also see you doing a lot of enjoyment, a lot of stepping into what it is that you really want to do in your life. You're not just talking about it, you're like actually doing it and running your business at the same time. So if you can expand on how does that look? Because from an entrepreneurial standpoint, maybe a newbie or somebody who is an ideal client for you is going, I don't see her working a lot. I see her successful. I see her doing a lot of fun things, but how does that translate into business?
Yeah, this is the greatest question. And there's like 4 answers to it.
Okay.
We'll just see what comes through.
Yeah.
I just have so much tangible proof that every time I've been like slightly overwhelmed or extra busy to the point where I'm like, I just got to stop for a minute. And I actually allow myself to completely stop. All of my greatest ideas, the things that people really want, and the highest ways of serving people always come right after that moment where I'm like, pause, go to the beach, disconnect, go play. And then it's like, boom, like I'll be working a week straight or 2 weeks straight, like on something really important. And like, it's just not working because at every level, like you said, there might be some new people. There's always challenges. They're just different. And we just continue dealing with them. But it's back to surrender again. The more I go to the beach and play, the more I live the life I want to live, the more opportunity presents itself to continue living the life I want to live.
Oh, girl. Yes.
Right?
So true. It's so true.
Yeah. And even in those moments when it was harder at the beginning to like invest or take a big leap or enjoy something luxury, as soon as you do, it comes back in. And this is crazy because this goes right back to quantum healing in the subconscious. Financial thermostats exist within ourselves, within our subconscious. And so check this out. I didn't expect to share this, but this will be a golden nugget that a lot of people need because I know what it's like being a coach. I know what it's like wondering what your next move is. Our financial thermostat tells us that, just like people talk about, people win the lottery, their financial thermostat makes them go broke within a year. We know this, okay? Well, here's the really cool side, the opposite side of that coin for entrepreneurs and people. You're going to really, really love this. Check this out. As you invest in yourself, your financial thermostat also, just the same as the lottery example, proves that will come back in. Just as you will lose it, you will bring it back in, which is so cool. So I've always lived my life like, okay, if I make this investment, I get to see where it's coming from because I know for sure through divine law that that's coming right back. Whether I invest in this or that or not, the financial thermostat is set as I continue raising it, which just, I feel like when I learned that, it provided so much freedom for me because I was like, oh my gosh, no matter what, I'm safe. So do I want this thing or do I not? Because the money's going to be about the same until we actively raise it.
It's so true.
So cool.
It is. Yeah. And if you have ever invested in yourself, this is great positive proof. You could actually look back and see how it has reciprocated and flowed back to you. And I've done this with coaching. I didn't, to the logical mind, you could say that I couldn't afford it. But because I wanted it so bad, the resources show up and
Totally.
I'm fine. I'm more than fine. I'm
Mhm.
even better than I was before. And it's taking those steps every single time, like you say, and that financial thermostat. My belief grew in myself well before I had quit my 9 to 5. And I
Yeah.
think that's really important for people who are in that space. Like, how do I know I'm ready? Because you will be so uncomfortable in the lack and limitation. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so good. So Amber, how can people work with you if they're like, yes, I want to break free. I want you to help me dig into my subconscious mind. I want you to
Yeah.
help me get rid of the glass ceiling I can't even see because I'm ready for luxury. I'm ready to ditch hustle back into the 1990s. I'm ready to just really explode my business. How can they get a hold of you and work with you? And maybe what's something really cool that's coming up that you're offering?
Yes, amazing. So, how to reach me directly? The easiest way would be on Facebook, Amber Frelin, Frelin. And then we actually are doing the coolest thing that pertains directly to everything we talked about today. Actually, we're creating a brand new program. And before it launches, we're having people experience it for free. And it has to do with shifting some of the most common millionaire beliefs. So there are thousands, as you can imagine, beliefs that we can test and rewire in the subconscious. But if you go to themillionairemindshift.com, you can get access to take part in that before we launch it as a paid program.
Oh, wow. Guess who's going to be joining you?
Amazing. Yes,
Awesome. I'm
absolutely.
so excited for this and for you to extend it for free. That's like such a huge value. And you dropped so many amazing nuggets, and you just even sharing your energy with all of us who are tuning in to this is so good. And I'm looking forward to connecting with you further and just being in your space. So thank you again, Amber, for everything. And
Yes.
for anybody who has questions about particularly this podcast, if you're like, I want to be a guest, I would love to have you as a guest and get eyes on your services and your products. So there's a little bit of a vetting situation. So I will send you guys to the link tree that is here, and you just go in there and apply to become a guest, and we will see if you are the perfect fit for this. And you can also learn about how to work with me, Liberty Santiago, through that same link tree. Ciao, friends.
Thank you so much.
Bye, everyone.